The worst terrorist attacks in history. Mosul faced the deadliest terrorist attack. Let's find out. We live in a world that is full of terrorism, people killing one another in the name of politics or religion. There has been a ton of terrorist attacks throughout history. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the worst attacks in history. So without further ado, let's dive right in. 4. The Red Brigades. First up on our list, we have an attack that is named the Red Brigades. It's called that because it was caused by members of Italy's Red Brigades, a radical left-wing terrorist movement. They kidnapped former Italian Prime Minister Aldo Moro on March 17, 1978. After nearly 2 anxious months, the terrorists murdered Moro and dumped his body in Rome on May 9. Aldo Moro had 5 security guards with him when he was kidnapped. All were killed by the terrorists. Moro was the head of the Christian Democratic political party and the most important politician in Italy. The radicals convicted him for his readiness to work with Italy's Communist Party, an act that they believed would undermine the Leninist revolution that they wished to achieve. Moro's popularity, the incapability of the police to locate him, and the controversial nature of his initiative toward the communists led to numerous conspiracy theories regarding his death. Decades later, after 4 trials and 2 parliamentary commissions, the Moro case continues to haunt Italian politics. 3. 9/11. The next attack we will be discussing is 9/11. That is definitely one of the most famous attacks in history. 19 terrorists from Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda organization attacked the United States on September 11, 2001, and effectively carried out the goriest and most consequential terrorist act in history. They hijacked 4 airliners, 2 of which were crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, abolishing the buildings completely. The top of the South Tower of the World Trade Center exploded after being struck by United Airlines Flight 175, and the North Tower was struck earlier by American Airlines Flight 11. A 3rd airliner was flown into the Pentagon, and a 4th crashed into a field after its passengers bravely fought back against the hijackers. More than 3,000 people were killed in these attacks. The consequences of the attack are still being felt today. As a direct result of the attack, the United States and its allies invaded Afghanistan, which was sheltering al-Qaeda. Terrorism of this nature was used as a major justification for the American-led invasion of Iraq 2 years later. The professions of the 2 countries have produced unpredictability throughout the greater Middle East, ironically contributing to the growth of terrorism in the region in the years since 2001. 2. Mumbai and the Lashkar-e-Taiba attack. Next, let's talk about the Mumbai attack. Basically, 2 teams of 5 terrorists, each from the radical Islamist group Lashkar-e-Taiba (LAT), attacked the Indian city of Mumbai with a synchronized series of shootings and bombings that took place over 4 days, from November 26 to November 29, 2008. They used grenades and assault rifles to strike at a train station as well as a cafe, 2 hotels, and a Jewish community center. For the first several hours of the attack, the police appeared totally incapable of handling the situation, and by the time the terrorists were defeated, they had already killed 164 people and injured 308 more. The attack is substantial not only for its cruelty, but for its global implications. The Indian government was able to build a convincing case proving that the government of its neighbor Pakistan had trained and supported the terrorists, and that attack was therefore part of the ongoing antagonism between the 2 states that have erupted into war many times. The weapons and tactics used by the LAT terrorists provided a template that other terrorist groups have since followed to overwhelming effect. First by al-Shabaab in a mall attack in Nairobi in September 2013, and more recently by the teams of attackers that terrorized Paris in November 2015. 1. Mosul, 2014, and ISIS. Last but not least, we have an attack that happened in Mosul. In early June 2014, hundreds of members of ISIS, the rising successor to al-Qaeda's Iraqi franchise, defeated the Iraqi army and took control of the city of Mosul, the 2nd largest city in Iraq. The attack was the conclusion of a cautiously planned tactic that had been in place for over 2 years. During the final attack on the city, the militants used ruthless mass casualty suicide bombings, often utilizing armored vehicles left behind by the United States, to pound the city's defenses, and also made skillful use of social media to weaken the morale of government forces and to motivate potential members. Human rights organizations confirmed the death of at least 500 to 800 people in the days following the fall of the city on June 10. The speed, scope, and savagery of the attack were unparalleled and demonstrated convincingly that terrorist networks located in Iraq had evolved into something far more hazardous, a guerrilla army that some described as a proto-state. Just 3 weeks later, the group's leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, declared himself as caliph, leader of the world's 1.6 billion Muslims, and claimed that Mosul would be the capital of a new caliphate that would realize the determinations of generations of Islamic activists. Anyway, this wraps up our video for today. What do you think about this? Let us know in the comments section down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel while you're at it.